Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Fixing It Up with Sandra. And in case you're new here, I'm Sandra. I'm all about cooking, crafting, creating, all on a beginner level. And so today we're gonna make quiches. Now I have made this recipe so many times before, but I've actually never done it in these little tins right here. So I'm super excited to do this with you guys. I'm gonna be showing you guys mistakes and all, but this is gonna be a lot of fun because this quiche is so good. We're gonna do two different styles of quiches, and I just wanna show you a couple of fun gadgets that I use in my kitchen that you might want to get as well. So I have this really cool, it's called, if you can see it, Jingle Bond. It's a really cool mat that I use when I'm rolling out pie dough, anything like that. It's not a cutting mat, so it's very thin, very easy to clean, but it has all the measurements on there. It's just super, super handy when you're baking or cooking. I love it. We're gonna be kind of bouncing around, so I've got, the oven heating up. I'm gonna be using this really big tray to put all of my little tiny quiches on, so that's something that I highly recommend. I've used this thing so many times, and I will put a link to where I got this. Definitely the Cuisinart shredder, mixer, or sorry, what is this thing called again? Mixer, slicer, dicer, I love it. So we've got all of these yummy ingredients that we're gonna work with today, and let's get started. All right guys, let's get started. So like I said, today we are going to make two different styles of quiches. We are going to do a spinach quiche, and then we're also going to do a zucchini quiche. Now, the base of this quiche is what's the most important. Once you have this base, anything you add to it, it's gonna make it super delicious. I do have to say that this is a rich quiche. It's gonna have sour cream, ricotta, 2 cups of any kind of cheese that you want. So it's gonna be that rich, delicious quiche. So this is perfect for a Sunday brunch. Not if you're trying to lose weight, but it's super good. And you can add, like I said, whatever you want to it. You can make it a totally veggie quiche. Today I'm gonna add some bacon. So we're gonna do that right now. Oh, and before I forget, if you like these videos and you're liking my channel, liking what I'm showing you guys, please subscribe and like this video so I know that you guys like the content that I'm putting out there. Also, if you are interested in seeing more daily stuff, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The link is in my bio on YouTube. So anyways, let's get started. Right now, I just have a bunch of stuff on the counter, but we're gonna organize and get some measurements for you guys. So what you need for your base is gonna be ricotta. I use the whole shebang. I use the heavy, all fat ricotta, just the classic one. You're gonna need some sour cream. You can use light on both of the ricotta and the sour cream. I just go all for it. So this is just your standard sour cream, all the fat included. And then you're gonna need 2 eggs. They can be large eggs, they can be small eggs. It doesn't matter, just 2 eggs. If you want it more eggy, add a 3rd egg, if they're small. And then that is your base. Oh, and then I'm sorry, 2 cups of cheese. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with this blend, this cheddar jack. Feel free to use whatever blend of cheese you want. Obviously, if you're using an Asiago cheese or a Swiss cheese, you're gonna get that flavor. It's really good. I've done that with both, but we're just gonna go with your basic cheddar jack right here. And that's gonna be our base. Then what we're gonna add to it, I'm gonna add some onions, some bacon, and then spinach. And then for the next one, I'm gonna add, instead of the spinach, I'm gonna sub it for zucchini. So I've already got half of a white onion cut for my first quiche. I would like to have added a little bit more, but that's just what I have. And so if you don't have fresh onion, I'm using just a white sweet onion. That's my favorite to cook with. If you don't have fresh onions, I do every now and then add just these dehydrated chopped onions. It works just fine. So what we're gonna do, I've got about a cup of chopped bacon. So, because I can't move the camera, I'm just gonna move this towards you. So see here, I've just got it like diced up in little tiny cubes because it just makes it easier to bite into the quiche. So we're gonna first start cooking the bacon, and then we're gonna add our other ingredients to it. I do wanna add a little garlic, so I'm just gonna add a little garlic salt. You can add fresh garlic to this. I don't have that, but I have done that and it's phenomenal. You'll add probably just like 1 or 2 cloves depending on your taste. A little salt and pepper. It's gonna be delicious. So I'm going to get you guys over to the stove and I'll show you how this is done. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add about a cup and a half of bacon to our pan. We're gonna let this cook. Let it cook until it reaches the texture that you like. I don't like a soggy bacon. I like it to kind of be really crispy. So we're just gonna let that cook up. And then once we get it halfway cooked, we're gonna add our onions, and then our veggies. I think this one right here, I will do, it'll be the zucchini. Actually, no, we'll go ahead and do the spinach. That sounds delicious. And you'll need a lot of spinach for this because the spinach cooks down like all the way down. So it'll look like you have too much, but actually you'll be surprised at how little you have once it's all cooked down. So, all right, here's what we've got. We'll get our onions ready. And again, this is a dish that you can cook ahead of time and then freeze for later. You can also, so normally I do this in one big pie dish. I do it in a 9-inch pie dish with a crust, which you don't always have to do. If you don't have a crust and you're like, man, I still want to make that quiche, you can do that as well. So right now, kind of getting just about halfway cooked. So I'm going to add my half an onion to the pan. All right, we're going to let that cook up for a second. And then if you had fresh garlic, I would throw that in at this time, and it's going to start smelling so good. And I'm not a big bacon person either. I'm not a big fan of it, but you have to have it in this quiche. You let that saute until like the onions are a little translucent. I always have trouble saying that word. All right. I wish I was one of those chefs that could like pick up the pan and then flick this, but that's not happening. So, all right. So we're gonna let that cook. Like I said, I want more of a crispy bacon, so we're gonna let that cook for just a few moments, and then we're gonna jump back over here and get our base going. All right. So now that we have our bacon and our onions cooking, down to the texture that we want it, let me just give it a quick stir. Okay, so I have that cooking on low, and we're gonna go ahead and start our base. All right, so we're gonna start with our 2 eggs. All right, got our 2 2 eggs. We're gonna do half a cup of sour cream. And I'm just gonna dip straight in there and dump it in. And then we're gonna do a half a cup of ricotta. And probably a little bit too much. Dump that in there. And then you're gonna stir this mixture up. Now this mixture right here with what we have will make one 9-inch pie pan full, okay? So once you mix it up, the light, it should look like this. It'll be like a whitish yellow color. Got it nice and creamy. Now we're gonna go back over to the stove and check on our bacon and then add our veggies. All right guys, so now I'm getting it to the texture that I want. I like the little charred crispiness to it. And it smells incredible. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add the spinach. And I'm gonna add about 2 cups. And like I said, it looks like a lot, but it's really gonna cook down. All right, here we go. I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. So I'm gonna add the garlic salt. Right now, you can skip the garlic salt if you already put fresh garlic in it. And we're gonna do a little bit of pepper. All right, we're just gonna stir this up. And you can do this with a lot of different veggies. I've only done this with spinach or zucchini, been the two that I have done. But you can do it with the yellow squash. I'm trying to think of some other veggies that you could add to this. I'm sure you could do like bell pepper, all kinds of them. Do it with ham. You can get real creative with this. Now see how that spinach has like really just wilted down? And I think I want to add just a little bit more spinach. I want to have a little bit extra veggies in here. Just do a small handful. And this really smells good. And this is a great breakfast, like I said, to make ahead. You can freeze it. It keeps really well. And it's super impressive when you show all your friends this quiche that you make, because you're going to think that you slaved over it. And actually, these are so easy to make. All right. We're just about there. And the bacon is definitely crisped up. Exactly the way I like it. And then we're just going to add this to that base mixture and then add it to our little pie dishes. All right, so here we go. Now I'm going to take this and we're going to add it to our base, and let's head over to the counter to add this to our base. So before I forget, I've had the oven preheated to 400. So I have the oven heated to 400 right now. We're gonna cook it We're gonna cook this quiche like that for 15 minutes, and then we're gonna drop the temperature down to 350 and then finish it out like that. I just wanna make sure that my pie crust doesn't get soggy, so I wanna do it on a high temperature, then it'll set, and then I'll let it cook the rest of the way at a lower temp. All right, so we've got it mixed together like that. Now it's time to add our cheese. And about 2 cups. Again, I rough measure. This is just for my household, so just about a bag. Okay, that's what we're just gonna mix. You're just gonna toss this all together, okay? That's what we're working with. Okay. And like I said, this will definitely do 1 9-inch, the deep pie pan, if I can say that correctly. All right, this is what we've got, okay? Now we're gonna bring over our little pie pans and fill them up. Get all of this out of the way. All right, we're gonna bring over our big baking sheet. Now with these, I didn't do the pie crust all the way up to the top. I just wanted it to have like a little bit of a base. So that's what I did. And yes, I used just pre-made pie crust. Super easy, super simple. And when you do it this way, you can have breakfast, like a good breakfast, every day of the week. We're just gonna get a big cookie scooper. We're gonna start filling these babies up. All right, so there we go. I just do 1 big scoop in them. Like I said, this is the first time doing it, so I'm not sure how many little dishes I'm going to get. So we're just gonna fly by the seat of our pants. That's how I do a lot of things in life. And for the most part, it works out. So, because I don't believe in mistakes or failures. You can only gain knowledge and gives you the preparation that you need for next time. All right, so not too shabby. We got about 6. That's exciting. Now, if you decide to do this in 1 big pie pan, do it the same way, 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, and then drop it to 350 until it sets. Basically, these quiches take about an hour to cook. So then you would do the 40 minutes on 350. So, okay, we've got 6 right here. But remember, I'm gonna do the zucchini one as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these set right here, and we're gonna start working on the zucchini the same way we did our spinach. So I'm gonna set these aside. So now I know that I need 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. So I have a total of 12 little dishes. That was 2 pie crusts that I had rolled out, used my little, I say little, it's a cookie cutter, and goodness, I wish I had the diameter, which I will get for you before the end of the show. I will put it, I just said show, how fun, before the end of the video, but I will also put it in the descriptions as well. So let's get started on our second batch. Now, we're gonna go ahead and use the same bowl because we're working with the same base, pretty much the same, except we're gonna be doing zucchini. So we're gonna do our 2 eggs, like that. Again, we're gonna do 1/2 cup of ricotta, guesstimate. And we're gonna do 1/2 cup of sour cream. And again, if one of these ingredients is your favorite and you're like, man, is it okay if I put a little extra? Go for it. If you like ricotta a lot and you want to have more of that than the shredded cheese, go for it. All right. So we've got that. We've got this is our base. So mix that up. All right, so we got that all mixed up. Got that ready. Move things over here. Rinse my hands real fast. All right, so we're gonna chop up some more bacon. So the pan is still nice and warm, so it won't take too long to cook this down. And like I said, we're gonna do about 1 to a little over a cup. Not even 1.5, but again, you can add as much bacon. You can blend meats. You can do bacon and ham, do sausage, although that's not something I think would taste good, but bacon or ham, definitely. All right, so I think I've got about a cup, so we're gonna do that. All right, and then we're gonna cook our zucchini down. Now zucchini tends to hold a lot of water, so I like to really cook this down low to make sure that I can get all of that moisture out. So again, let's head over to the stove. All right guys, so I actually forgot I had cheesecloth, and if you're not sure what it is, it's this really thin cloth that I use for straining veggies like this that are wet, like spinach, when it's frozen, or this. I use it for so many different things. So this will be a great way to get rid of some of this excess water before I throw it into the pan. Just wrap it up like that. And you can get cheesecloth in almost any cooking section. And look at how much water comes out of this. We do not want all of this water in our quiche because it'll make it really soggy. And I highly recommend that if you just grab a package of cheesecloth, it's not very expensive. It's like a few dollars, but so convenient. Okay, so I'm trying to get as much water as I possibly can. That's a lot of water. So, all right, now it's all ready for us. So we're gonna cook the bacon first. Get that over here. Wash my hands real fast. All right, let's turn the heat up on here. Again, we're going to cook it down to the texture that I like. All right, let me adjust the camera real fast so you can see. All right, there we go. All right. So I'm just reusing the same pan and bowl and all that because I'm just cooking for my family. Of course, if you were cooking this for, for other people, you might want to change pans and whatnot. But because we're doing this I'm doing it just for my family, we can just reuse a lot of this stuff. So I'm gonna let that heat up, and then of course, once this is all cooked, we're gonna add it to our base. Now, I did say that I ran out of fresh white onions, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some of these. Add to taste. We're also gonna be adding some more black pepper and more garlic salt. And please feel free to make this recipe your own. add whatever you want, seasonings, all of that. Get real creative. This is just the standard one that I've always made time and time again. I have, you know, changed it up a few times, but I always go back to this particular style. All right, so now they're starting to get a little warm. Let this cook. All right, and of course, while we're waiting for this to really take off, again, subscribe to the channel if you like these cooking videos. I've got so many recipes that I can't wait to share with you that are really easy to make, super delicious. I'm just now really starting to learn about foods and like how you can combine them to make an amazing dish. I am such a beginner that there are still so many ingredients that I have never used, never heard of, don't know how to mix together. So if you have any suggestions on these quiches, if you're like, hey, you should try this, definitely let me know, because I am all about trying new things. All right, so now that that's starting to get hot, let that cook down again. And we've got our oven prepped. So like I said, this is about, once you drain it out, a little over a cup right here in this balled up mash, or mashed up ball. I said it backwards. So you can add as much or as little as you want. All right. So while that's cooking, I'm going to add this. Toss this aside. Okay, starting to look so good. I don't measure out my seasoning. I just kind of do it by, you know, just looking at it. Use about a handful of these onions. There. And then a pinch of pepper. There. Feel free to fast forward on this section. If not, no worries. We're just going to cook this down. Like I said, I think I've said that like 5 times now. I just started these cooking videos. I'm really starting to feel comfortable showing you guys like how to make some of these recipes, because I thought I've always believed that I was such a basic cooker. Like I never was creative in any sense. I never knew like what to make. I just, you know, meat and potatoes is kind of like how I've always done it. And so this has just become so much fun that I'm like, you know, so many people need to learn how to make these basic recipes. You know, they're not hard, although they may seem intimidating. But I've learned just throughout the years that it really isn't, it's really not as scary as it looks, you know, cooking. So, and if you can flip the pan while you're doing these veggies, I'm very impressed. So, all right, we're gonna let that cook, and then we're gonna, like I said, come back over to the counter. So, I'll let this just sit here for a second, and we're gonna go back over there. All right, guys, it is all cooked down. So we're gonna add it straight into this. So, let's stir this up. Now, I learned to cook this while working at a bed and breakfast. I learned how to cook so many delicious meals there that I'm definitely going to be showing you at some point in time. And we're going to just dump the whole bag in there. Stir this up. Now I do want to say that I have added tomatoes to this, which I think I might. That sounds really good. And I'll show you how to do that. Even like sun-dried tomatoes would be really good. Maybe some artichoke hearts. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I'm like, boy, you can really get creative with these things. All right, so we're gonna start scooping. All right, it looks like I have one little dish left and I have just enough to fill it. Let's see if I can squeeze that in here. Perfect. And I didn't even plan it like that. All right, so now that we've got all of the quiches right here, like I said, we're gonna pop this in the oven for about 15 minutes at 400 degrees. And then I'm gonna lower the temp for another to 350 for about another 30 minutes because these are smaller. I'm just gonna keep an eye on them since, again, I've never made it this way before, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on the how they are baking. So let's put them in the oven. And I just realized that I said I was gonna put tomatoes on them. Obviously not. We can do that next time. But what I like to do is take a tomato and slice it pretty thin and then just put it on top to kind of give it like a little, you know, like a little garnish looking thing. It'll make it look really pretty. But yeah, you can do that with anything. Do it with sun-dried tomatoes, artichokes, make it all fancy. But I will let those bake and then I will see you in just a few. We're gonna turn the temperature down in about 15 minutes, and so that's when I'll show you how they look. And then we'll lower that temperature and let them finish up. So, be right back. All right, y'all. Here is our 15-minute check on our quiches. Woo! Let's get away from there. Let me clean the lens up. All right, that was awesome. Okay, so they are smelling delicious. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this back up. We're gonna drop it down to 350. And then I'm gonna check on them again in about another 15 minutes just to make sure that they don't burn, because these are little quiches, so they might not take as long to cook, but they're looking good so far. All right, guys, it's been another 15 minutes and they are perfect. So what I've learned by doing this, we're gonna cook these babies on 400 for 15 minutes and then lower the temperature to 350 and cook it for an additional, I would say 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how full you've got them. But they look incredible. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. I can. All right, guys. Here we go. We've got our quiches. Do you hear that sizzling sound? I love it. So now I'm just gonna let them cool completely. Then with the ones that we're not gonna be eating right away, I'm gonna go ahead and cover them with foil, and then we're gonna pop them in the freezer and they'll be fine. And then you can just, we have this little tiny countertop oven that we can just pop these in, do not put these in the microwave. This is metal. It will not work. So you have to reheat these in the oven or a little like toaster oven like that. Unless you dig it out and put it onto a microwave safe plate. Again, do not put these in the microwave. But anyways, here we go. And I hope you enjoy. And if you've created your own or you think of a great recipe to make with the quiche base, let me know. I'm so excited to learn different techniques, different recipes. So feel free to leave it in the comments below. And as always, thank you for joining me. I will be uploading more and more cooking videos as we go on. A video should be uploaded every single Friday. Sometimes I might do one in advance just because I get so excited to share with you guys. But also make sure that you're subscribed. So when I do upload a video, you get notified. Make sure that you hit that little bell for notifications. Again, if you want to see more of this stuff on a daily basis, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are in my About on YouTube. So check it out. Oh, and you can pop over to my Etsy store and check out my handcrafted candles and wax melts because that's actually what I am. I'm a candle maker. So, all right, enjoy and let me know how you like this recipe.